Janet, thanks for staying here with me and going through some of my questions. I appreciate it. I kind of want to talk a little bit about technology. Yeah. Which resources do you have specifically on the Anchorage campus, and how do you manage any issues that might come up?
Um, well, I have a computer. I can tell you that since I'm not technologically savvy. um, we do our best in our classrooms to have appropriate audiovisual equipment for our students, especially for zooming out. But for big IT questions for programs and such, we call IT, and most of us have their number on speed dial, or we find Katie Walker, who is the god of IT on our floor. She knows everything and is able to help us.
And what is her role?
Katie is the instructional designer for the College of Health, and so she helps with programs like Blackboard. She knows it inside out. She also helps with a lot of the web design for the different websites for the College of Health, and then she's been really helpful to us in creating a handbook that has appropriate links or has been able to advise us on the links that we need to put in. So she's been a huge help in helping us create that document.
Okay. What about if you are in a classroom and you're teaching and because my understanding is because you are zooming out to these other outreach areas, and it's Alaska, I'm just imagining there's unknowns. How do you manage an outage or internet failure or a Zoom not working or the microphone, or how does that work?
We're going to call IT that number that's on speed dial, or hopefully Josh, who is our designated IT person, is going to be in the building, and he's going to be able to help us. And an example of that would be last year we had students getting ready to take the Kaplan exam, and for some reason there were processes on their computers that weren't allowing them to log into the exam. And so Josh came down to the classroom and we just lined students up who were having issues, and Josh was able to go in, clear the cache on their computer, and get them set up so that they could go take their Kaplan exam at that time. So it's been really helpful to have him here in the building and accessible to both faculty and students.
Nice. That is a rarity, I imagine. How do you ensure that students in your outreach campuses have access to a comparable, amazing team? I don't know. I don't know if those are dedicated to those campuses, or how does that work?
It's a great question. I think sometimes we take it for granted that we have the great services that we do here accessible to us. And so I know for some of the outreach sites, they do have designated IT people that they can reach out to, but they do have access to the IT number here on campus. And so they're able to call, I want to say it's a 1-800 number, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But they have access to them and they're able to help with any issues they may be having.
Okay. Thank you very much. What about making sure that resources? I know you talked a little bit about this amazing Katie Walker, who has links and knows things. But what about making sure that resources are up to date, adequate for students' needs specifically for both Anchorage and outreach? Who governs that?
Well, I think it's within leadership that we go through and test those and make sure that they're appropriate at the end of every school year. And then Katie Walker, she not only helps facilitate what's happening here in Anchorage, but she's also able to reach out to those in the different outreach sites, and she will zoom into them and she will help facilitate and answer any questions that they may have related to technology needs or questions as well.
Okay. And if just because I know it happens sometimes, if Katie is out or something like that, who would we go to then? Who would you go to?
Well, I'm not for certain, but I think we would call the 1-800 number for tech support and hope that they would be able to help us. Sometimes it's an issue that we're not going to be able to fix at a moment's notice. And so We reach out to our students and let them know that there's an outage, and we do the best that we can in trying to notify them that there's been an outage so that they're aware of what's going on.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much for helping me with those questions. I just have a couple more I wanted to ask you. In terms of tech, I know that you talked about reaching out to not only the number that's available, your IT number to talk to, and you mentioned someone named Josh who's dedicated to your school. Is Josh also available to outreach campuses, or is he dedicated solely to the Anchorage campus?
That's a great question. I don't know that I have an answer for that off the top of my head. In my experience, at the outreach site I worked, we were able to get IT services from the local IT guys in our building, but I'm not sure that everyone has access to that. So I don't really have a good answer for you there.
Okay. All right. Now, if you as a faculty or if students call the IT help desk, how fast do they get responses? Do you have to wait, or do you get responses quickly?
Well, usually we get help pretty quickly, especially if we say that it's causing an outage of work or a stop work situation where we need it right now. But even if we don't verbalize that there's a work stoppage. In my experience, they've responded within the current or the next business day to help me or help me fix whatever IT need I have.
Okay. And if you didn't want to wait or couldn't wait or really needed a quick answer, are there any resources on the website to help guide you at all for IT needs?
Yeah, once you go to the IT page on the UAA website, there's a lot of different information there about how to download software if that's a need, or if you have very specific programs, if you have questions about them, that will walk you through and give you links to different help pages or different videos that they've created for example, as a faculty, if I wanted to use screencast to record videos for class and I wasn't sure how to do it, then I could always go to the web page, pull up screencast, and know exactly what I need to do to get it working for my computer so that I could record a video for class. And so for most of the software and programs that we use, we're going to be able to access it on the web page.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for taking time. I appreciate it.
Sure.